to my channel and welcome to my kitchen. Today we have some leftover rice here and we are going to make my Grandma Cecilia's rice pudding. As a child, I always remember that my grandmother cooked really, really well. She was a great cook. But my most favorite ever thing that she made, other than Portuguese soupish, because I do love that, the other thing that I truly love that my grandmother would make was her rice pudding. Every time she would come to visit, we lived about 4 hours away from each other, and every time she came, my request was rice pudding. So I made some rice last night. We had leftover rice. I did on purpose. I made leftover rice on purpose so that I could make some rice pudding today. My rice is kind of sticky, so it wasn't like nice and flaky and fall apart, but I'm hoping that will be okay. Just to let you know, I have the oven preheating to 350 degrees. I've just sprayed my 9x13 pan with some non-stick spray. I always was told by my grandmother to pay attention so that one day when she's not here, I would remember this. And I would always say to her, Grandma, you're always going to be here. Well, guess what? She's not here. But thank goodness that my little brother paid better attention than I did. So, he gave me the ingredients, but not the measurements. So we're just going to kind of wing it, because that's kind of how our family rolls. Oh, measurements? What's that? So I would say that there's probably about 6 cups of rice in here. Okay, that's my estimation. So my brother told me the ingredients that we're going to put into the rice pudding are as follows. Evaporated milk. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this whole can of evaporated milk in there. He didn't tell me how much or anything. This is 12 ounces. So we're going to mix that around. Oh yes, I think this is going to be great. And then he told me 1 can of condensed milk, condensed sweetened milk. And he said not to add sugar to the rice pudding because the sweetened condensed milk is all that you need. Now, my brother and I do have a little bit different of taste buds because I seem to like everything unhealthy and sweet and lots of carbs. My brother's a good healthy eater and he likes to exercise and he's thinner than me. And I can't say lucky him because he works at it, right? And I know. Alright, so I put the condensed sweet milk into the rice, and I think those 2 cans are just going to be more than sufficient. Now he said also cinnamon and vanilla. So I'm going to put a teaspoon of each, like an overflowing teaspoon. My grandma used to make little lines with cinnamon sugar that went down this. So I don't know if that's what he meant the cinnamon was for, but we'll put a teaspoon in here. Oops. I do remember my grandma putting cinnamon in there. I thought, oh gosh, it's looking great. And you know when you buy it from the store because you're craving it, it's just really, it's not the same as homemade, that's for darn sure. Okay, so then my brother told me 2 eggs, but he said if I like it custardy, to put 3 or 4. So we're going to start out with 3, well I guess that's all we're going to do is just 3, because once it gets into the oven and baking, we can't switch it in. So we're going to put in 3 eggs. When he first told me the recipe, he's like, 3 eggs. And I'm like, really? We're going to eat raw eggs? And he's like, well, no, you're going to bake it off of the oven. So that we are doing. Right. And then he said, raisins if you prefer. Like my mom, she never liked raisins, but I like raisins. I'm not going to overpower it with raisins, but I am going to put some in. So we'll just say like a cupful. Alright, this looks like bread, like rice pudding. And you know what I've never made? I have never made bread pudding. So, call me old brother again. And I have made rice pudding, but it's been a long time. Alright, now we're going to take this mixture and dump it into our 9x13 pan. Oops. Oh, Patty. You always got to make messes. Oh, this looks so beautiful. So I can't remember. I think my grandma put the cinnamon and sugar mixture on after it came out of the oven. I'll have to call my brother real quick. But I think it's still here. I heard the beeper go off on the oven. So I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees for 30 minutes, and I will be back to show you our rice pudding. Hi guys. Okay, well, my house smells divine. Combination of sugar and cinnamon and raisins. So here it is. It's amazing how much it made. That's way too much for us to eat at home. We'll have to take some to work and share with the girls at work. But they like when I do that. So let's have a little taste. It's still warm. Grandma's I always had after it was cooled off. But I'm just going to have a little taste. It's still hot. I actually cooked it for 45 minutes because at 30 it was still kind of wet in the middle, so. It was good. I actually probably could have got away with the 30 minutes. It was probably going to cook more once it came out, so unless it's just because it's the edges, because it's just a little bit dry. But if that bothers me too much, I'll just add a little milk to it and it'll be fine. Okay, you guys. I got a little bite of the rice that was a little crunchy on the bottom. It tastes so good. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my Grandma Cecilia's recipe, remembered by my brother and baked by me. Okay, you guys have a good evening, and I'll talk to you again later. I'm gonna go to bed pretty soon. Good night.